People would be horrified if they saw the death rate and the suffering inside salmon farms. It's just been eaten alive by the parasites that go into the head. It's something that I started investigating, and it's difficult to stop. I come from the scientific community in terms of environmental science, so I've studied the environmental impacts of salmon farming for 30 years. It was only in 2018 when I kayaked out to a salmon farm, I put a GoPro camera inside a farm, that my eyes were truly opened. That's when I became an animal rights activist. The welfare abuse, the welfare suffering inside farms is staggering. Cramming a species such as salmon in high densities is a recipe for disease, it's a recipe for parasites. The most common parasite is a sea louse, so they burrow into the head of the farm salmon. Look at that poor fish. It's just been eaten alive by the parasites that go into the head. What type of life is that for a fish? The mortality rate is 31%. That's the latest Scottish Government statistics. So that's 1 in 3 farm salmon are dying. Wild fish get diseases and parasites, but not at this level. But if that was happening in terrestrial farming with cows, pigs, sheep, people would be horrified. But because it happens underneath the water, people can't see it. So that's why it's very important to get the video footage out there. So we're on the west coast of Scotland, we're near Glasgow, this is Dunoon, and we've got salmon farms in here, Ardine Point in Loch Striven, another one there. So there's 3 farms here. Scottish lochs are ideal for salmon farming. They're very sheltered, they're shallow, but for all the reasons they're ideal locations. It's the same reasons why it's really bad. You've got jellyfish, you've got climate change, you've got global warming, making disease and lice more of a problem, and then you've got welfare damage and lice and parasites. People go to the supermarket and they think that they're buying a wild fish. Salmon are farmed in cages or pens. You've got hundreds of thousands of fish crammed in a very small space. It's really upsetting when you're standing there looking over the fish. You're there on your own and you're surrounded by these dead bodies and you're thinking, fucking hell, this is criminal. Clearly this fish is in pain, it's suffering, and you can see a lot of other fish with diseases, with parasites. But this is blatant welfare abuse. This is like tail rot, maybe damage from seals. These fish are clearly in distress. This is not the pretty picture of Scottish salmon you see in supermarkets. This one's got its whole jaw is deformed. That fish is suffering, it's in pain, and you know, half its tail's missing, it's struggling to breathe. And wherever you look in this cage, it's just horrific welfare abuse. There's welfare experts around the world, and there's the peer-reviewed science showing that fish have sentience, they have feelings, they can exhibit pain and suffering, but this is forgotten suffering, this is unseen, which is why it's very important to get in there with the video camera. In the wild, they swim thousands of miles across the open ocean, yet in fish farms, these are cages, this is like a torture chamber, this is the pure definition of suffering and animal abuse. Our jobs as activists is to tell the truth. I'm not a kayaker. I didn't want to get in a kayak, but no one else was going to do it. And I think it's very important for people to stand up and fight for what they believe in. Animal welfare groups like the Humane League have done an excellent job in raising public awareness. The fish have sentience and they're just as worthy of our attention and protection as other species for food production. And I think the tide has turned against salmon farming as more and more people get switched on And the greater public focus on fish means that there is hope to stop the suffering, to end the torture of these millions and millions of fish dying inside salmon farms in Scotland and around the world.